We're the dreaded game time decision on Alex. All right, so health report. Liam's status is unchanged. Although he did move around, I guess I could describe. He moved around as part of the protocol of getting back on the court just to see how some movement felt. So you see how he feels tomorrow. See if you could do like the next thing that way. And then Alex just falls into game time decision mode. He obviously didn't practice today, but he shot, and so we'll see how he's feeling tomorrow with that ankle.
Sprain?
Yeah, sprain. I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's as bad as the one he had last year versus Providence, where he didn't play in the St. John's game at MSG. So I don't think it's as bad as that. So.
You talked about some of the issues with the team the other day. You've been talking about it for a lot, but could you take any solace in the fact that you look around college basketball? It just seems like there's a lot of parity. 19 top 25 teams lost last week, several of them at home.
Yeah.
Does that, I don't know, it don't make you feel better?
Misery loves company. Yeah, I don't. It's I think you're seeing some of the just the effects of the portal and the effects of the portal, the effects of NIL in terms of across the board, just having really strong, focused, dialed in teams. I think obviously a couple of people have it have their roster right and have their culture right, but I just think here moving forward with the way our game is set up now, it's a greater challenge to have a tough, mature, connected team, and I'm really just focused on our own issues and we're just not used to as you dive into the numbers and just seeing where our defense is at. It's been so many years for me as a coach or for us as a coaching staff to just be having the issues that we're having, relative to, the defensive end of the court and how hard we play and with the rebounding and, getting beat to loose basketballs. We've given up close to 47% from the field in Big East or high major games this year. And, our past teams, those numbers, even years where we had early exits in the tournament, we were holding people to 40% from the field, and that 41% from the field. The championships teams, 39% from the field. So we're just, I think just our defense, our rebounding, and our overall toughness, we've become a finesse offensive team that runs a lot of good stuff on offense, but we've got to get our toughness back.
How do you do that? Do you have to change drills or the way you coach the style?
Yeah, I think we're that's a tough one. It's like I don't. You do it with honesty. You do it with with evidence. You do it with honesty. You do it with video. It's obviously you're. It's. I guess you're told that with modern athletes or kids these days, you have to be careful how you talk to them. So, but I here we go with honesty, we go with accountability. We go with here's what the the film says, here's what the numbers say. When you're on the court with us, here's your role in how we're failing defensively, and obviously you spend a lot of time too trying to think if there's a scheme change you could make defensively, but the way that we've guarded has been really effective for a long time.
How do you balance a guy like Solo, who's obviously producing very well on offense, but defensive end has kind of been a struggle all season, and obviously the other night it was.
Yeah.
How do you you can't like take him out of the lineup.
Yeah.
Yes, but like,
Yeah.
what do you do with him?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough right now, too. It's just with Liam's absence, too. If with Liam in there, it would give you more flexibility to put in a defensive-minded guy. If someone was struggling on the perimeter defensively. But with Liam's out, you obviously you need Solo's offense, you need Alex's offense, and then obviously you need a point guard, and then and then you could afford to have another guy out there that that maybe isn't a great offensive player, but brings intangibles and things like that with one of the centers. But yeah, I mean, I think for guys like Jordan Hawkins and sophomore year, I think. As we got into like at this point in the year, he really became sturdy defensively, and I just think that Solo's got great intentions. It's not like one of those guys that's like, hey, I'm a bucket, and I'm one of the best shooters in the country. Screw you guys. Like that's not it with him. He feels, the stress, the pressure. To become a better defensive player for our team, and it bothers him as much as any of the coaches when he has defensive struggles. But it's literally at every position. It's it's well beyond Solo. We have not been we've been Hassan's the best defender. But he's playing too many minutes. So now late in game he had some breakdowns too. So. It's an across-the-board thing that's well beyond Solo, but I think Solo, he's got the makeup to fix it and to become a much better defender.
Hassan's playing too many minutes, Dan. How's Ahmad's development going? Is he close to where you might start to play him more, even if only to give Hassan a few minutes?
Yeah. That's like, that's... It's a need, it's a need to feel, comfortable and confident, to be able to get Hassan down to, manageable minutes, 30 minutes, 32 minutes a game, is where you want to be. But, for us right now, it's every possession kind of feels like life or death, especially in a game like the other day when you're down 7 at the half and you get down 9 early, and then you cut it to 1 or you get a 2-point lead, and then you don't want to take them out and lose the lead.
Right.
You don't want to take them out when you're down 7 or 9 because now it could be 14 before you could get them back in the game. So, it's a need for us to get somebody to be able to get Hassan off the court for 8 to 10 minutes a game right now, but we're scratching and clawing to win these games in these tight matchups, and it's something's got to happen for me to get the confidence to play one of those guys more at that position, but something's got to happen for me to have that confidence too.
How imperative is it for you guys to fix the toughness, the defense, the rebounding before Liam comes back, and not just hope that a freshman is going to come and save you because he's talented?
Well, he's going to help us. He's going to, if and when, or not if and when, when Liam returns, it's going to help us significantly. It's going to help us at both ends of the court significantly. His absence has affected multiple players negatively. It's probably forced Hassan to play, to even play more minutes, because you could have a less experienced or maybe a lesser point guard in the game if you've got him out there with Alex, Liam, maybe Solo, and you just have a lot of experience or a lot of really good offensive players 2 through 4. Now, that would alleviate, or that would alleviate your need to keep Haas on the court. But even guys like Tarris, Liam being out, his ability to get in the paint, create dunks and good opportunities for guys like Tarris and Sampson. It's hurt both of their numbers too, especially Tarris. So He'll fix a lot of our issues when he gets back. But like our defense overall is just where you're not going anywhere doing that. You can't compete for anything when you're 126th. So.
You had Liam and Alex when you played Butler the first time. How much has to change without Liam and maybe without Alex this time?
Yeah, we're I mean, we got to play better across the board, especially at the center spot. I think we got our butt kicked. Tarris fouled out of the game. We got our butt kicked there by screen. They're hard to guard. I mean, with Brooks and Telfort, McCaffrey. I mean, that tells you, I think, just how hard it still is to win Big East games, no matter what the net says, no matter what the Ken Palm says or any of the analytics. I mean, it's a tough league to win games in, especially when you look at some of the firepower that they've got on the wing there, and two pretty good centers and good guard play. So, and a great coach and bad. So, it's going to be a hard game for us. We're going to be coming in banged up, short rest. They've had a week off. And we're going to need a great crowd and a real pick-me-up from playing in XL after the haunting experience at Gamble the other day. It's just really nice to, changing venues and having two home courts is obviously different than any other team in the country. But in an instance where you just lost one at one place, it's kind of like the fact that I'm going to my other place. Quote me.
I wasn't expecting that. Yeah, Tarris just last few games hasn't, you kind of mentioned it, but what's kind of been up with him last few games?
Yeah, just for Tarris, I think playing with these Big East games, you got to play with a serious edge to you in these games, and the kind of the minutes situation has flipped a little bit, between him and Sampson. I think early in the year, Tarris was in the low 20s and Sampson was in the high teens, and now it's flipped. A lot of it because, offensively, right now I think it's like, we're 1.28 points per possession when Tarris is in the game, and we're 1.27 points per possession when Sampson's in the game. So offensively, it's very little that separates the two players, and but from a defensive standpoint, we're better when Sampson's in the game, partially because of ball screen defense. Just some mental mistakes there by Tarris, but we got to get him going. We got to be able to throw the ball, inside, some here. But he's got to play with a lot more force and ferocity, and when he gets in the game, he's got to do things to keep himself in the game. It's similar to Dom's point guard question. I think we know talent here. I think players, when they get in the game, they have to do things to make you want to keep them in the game. By doing quality things. By making quality plays, and we need to. He needs to get himself going here and play with a lot more force. I didn't like the force we obviously played with as a team, and he should be able to bring that. He's a very physical guy.
Sampson has played pretty hard, but the rebounding just doesn't seem to come. What is it with, he's athletic, he plays hard, why can't he rebound?
Yeah, a lot of time, he's at a weight disadvantage, right? I think, for him, in a lot of instances, it's a win for us if his guy, if his guy doesn't get the offensive rebound. He almost done his job. I think he's done a far better job of guarding, the low post. He's held up better that way. And it's only become a bigger issue for us this year because our guards and really our 1 through 4 minus Liam are not rebounding the ball well for us this year. If this was Tristan Newton and Cam Spencer and Andre Jackson and Steph Castle, and you think about the guards we've had that would be feasting on these defensive rebounds and then pushing the ball in transition and creating opportunities for us. So Yeah, I mean, he's occupying the other team's center. Our perimeter people need to go flying in and support Sampson that way. Sampson's, the screening that he does to create shots, for our shooters when we run our finesse offense. The pressure he puts on the rim when he rolls to create driving lanes and threes for people at that end of the court. No one else on our team does that at that level or as close. And then his ball screen defense is far superior to anything that we have. So we just have got to have our guards help him more when he's in there, and then he's got to find his way to a couple more. But just overall, like we're a shell of ourselves on the backboard, and it's not a Sampson Johnson issue. It's a team issue at every position.
Coach, when you talk about defense, in terms of preparation, are you spending more time in practice on defense versus the amount of time you spent in the past?
Yeah, it's tilted that way. Obviously, you get to this time of year, and there are limits to what you can do, just relative to the intensity of practice. When you play on a Saturday, and now you're playing on a Tuesday, and you have two-day preps. So you're looking at subtle adjustments that you can make to the scheme. But you're mostly just reiterating the message that we had with you guys after the game, about just what the issues are with the team. I think it's it's a will, it's hunger, it's competitive fire. It's like I think it's technique. It's in some cases it's experience, but we're running out of the experience excuse, because our sophomores have played a lot of minutes now.
In the past, you've obviously had that will and that fire. Was there a time when it seemed to click for you, and do you feel like these guys are getting close to that?
I got a lot going on in my mind right now. I'm thinking a lot about a lot of things, and I'm thinking about, has the success softened us? Has my intensity dropped? Have I lost my edge? Have we got soft with our success and feel entitled to it and aren't, don't have the will to earn it? Is there, we do have a lot of people though that haven't won championships with us or weren't integral parts of our championships. So I don't know. I'd say throughout the whole season, it's been, a lot of things go through your mind when you've lost more games to this point in the season than you have recently. And it's the way, I think it's the way that we're going out in these games where, it's just when you're not winning because you're not getting after people and guarding people and winning rebounding battles and being the first one to loose balls. I mean, and you're not faster to everything, and you're not playing with violent force and incredible determination. I mean, that's not the way you want to go out. I think, that's not. It doesn't sit well. I think, if we had a really bad offense and we just couldn't score, but we were giving incredible efforts and guarding and fighting tooth and nail and just losing games because we didn't have enough, and we just weren't good enough on offense, I think that would be something that, would bother you less as a coach. But the fact that, your offense is I don't even know what we're ranked anymore, but was as high as 2 and it fell 7. That's a horrible way to lose as a coach when you've got, and that's with no offensive rebounding and no running game too, by the way. So if we had any offensive rebounding and any transition offensive game, we'd be 2 or 3. So
Coach, you guys play really well Gonzaga, which seems like a long time ago. Does that give you hope that you guys can play at that level? Because you have done it?
I mean, we played great at Georgetown through, 33 minutes in that one. That was a Georgetown team that had won, had won a bunch in a row and then went on the road and was right there to beat Marquette on the road. So, And to go in there when they had a ton of momentum going, and we had just lost to Villanova, and we were playing, what looked like vintage UConn basketball, like, dunk, stop, score, timeout. Like that's UConn vintage basketball. And it's just we haven't been able to get there because of just because of the defensive end of the court and our inability to across the board rebound the ball. And I think that's why it's so frustrating, because it's such a big season for us too, and to not be where you want to be because you didn't play with the life or death urgency that you need to in such an important year is frustrating.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Coach.